This is a tutorial on how to take 4 Bitewings in the XVCapture version, the 3.5 version. You see in the upper left-hand corner, that's your version. How do we get here? We always want to bridge over from your practice management software with the associated prompts needed for your software. So we want to start in a patient's chart, use those associated prompts for your software, and arrive here. This is the home page of XVCapture. Let's click on Capture Images, and what will happen with your bridge is it will auto-populate your patient's information, ID, last name, first name, birth date, and gender. I'm going to use my MRU list, my most recently used. It'll populate like the last 20 patients that you saw. And let's go into John Doe, since I don't have everybody's practice management software. So I like this drop-down menu. I like it whether you're using digital sensors or phosphorus plate. Let's choose 4 Bitewings. The lower half are all of the layouts. The upper half are the modalities. Intraoral, the external camera would be your intraoral camera. Your panoramic unit would be if you have a digital pan, and so on. So let's go to 4 Bitewings. And now I've got who I'm taking images on, what kind of images I'm taking from this drop-down menu. Let's click on Capture. And now the statement at the top is important. What device am I using to take these 4 Bitewings with? You'll have a list of your brand of sensors. Also at the bottom of the screen, you may have image importer, a direct video if you were taking those 4 Bitewings with your intraoral camera. So whatever you're fulfilling those tiles with is the device. Just want to choose your device. I'm going to use a simulator. And now here's my 4 Bitewings. We see the number 1, teeth numbers associated with that image, listed below and also in graphic format in the upper right-hand corner. As in tile 2, the same thing. You have the teeth numbers associated, crossed out in the graphic chart and listed below the tile itself. When you're ready to start taking images, click on Start Progression Capture. That progression is key. It's going to go from one tile to tile 2 to tile 3 to tile 4 in numerical order. So it's going to go pretty fast with my simulator. We're going to hit Start Progression Capture.
Sensor ready.
You hear that sensor ready. You take your image and it processes and reads that image. The sensor's ready. You take the image and it will process and read that image. You have a voice. You can enable that, disable it, or just turn your volume down. Let's pretend that I need to retake the right molar bitewing. Highlight it and click the Take Retake. The Take Retake is only going to take that one tile and it will not progress, which is what we want. Let's click on Take Retake. Sensor's ready. I take my image and it populates. Just to demonstrate, I want to flip that image. You can flip vertically, rotate. There's a number 2 in the lower right-hand corner indicating that there are 2 images in this tile, and indeed there are. We just took a retake. If you click on the number, double-click on the image that you prefer to see when you open up the patient's chart. So you get to choose the better image. So the one that's highlighted in blue is the one that's on top momentarily. Let's double-click that one. So very easy to choose the image that you prefer to see when you open up the patient's chart. The good news is it's going to keep both images. It's not going to delete any images. The software is not set up to delete any images. It's a great safety feature for everybody. So I'm going to flip this one and get it back in position. Hopefully that makes sense about the retakes. Now, this always happens to me sometimes that this image here is more molar. You can drag and drop. Please use this black border on any layout to drag and drop those images out if you needed to left hold and reassociate them with the tiles that they actually belong to. So you can left hold and drag and drop. If you right hold, you're going to move the whole tile, and that's not what we want to do. The other thing that we can do here long before we've clicked on done is we can expand this image and look at it in a closer field of view. If I double click, it's going to open up, which is our enhancement screen. If I meant to get here, great. I can measure, I can flip, I can rotate, I can undo and redo all of that. And I've got a toolbar here that expands in the lower right-hand corner. I can use my brightness, contrast, gamma, magnifications. If you meant to get here, great. If you got here accidentally, just hit the close button whenever you're want to leave and come back to your layout. We just took 4 bite wings and a retake. When we're done, please click on done. But before we do that, I want to bring your attention to the forwarding idle that you may see in the lower right hand corner under save and go home. So as soon as you click on done, these images are forwarded to your cloud-based server. Currently, we would be the only people in your operatory looking at these images, and we want to make sure everyone has access to them. So let's click on done and then bring your eyes to the lower right hand corner. We see forwarding, preparing to send, forwarding, preparing to send. Now it's forwarding these 4 bite wings in that one retake. Momentarily, that's going to go idle. So that's the indication that the software has already pushed these images out to your cloud-based server. It's that easy to take your 4 bite wings. At this point, you can basically just double click and get into your image enhancement screen again, where we can flip the image, we can rotate the image, we can undo and go back to the original. We can turn on and off filters. So we want to make sure that the top 2, if you want filters on color images, you might not, so make sure that, you're allowing your filters if you want those. I've got the IO filter on now. If I don't want that filter, let's go to no filter. If I want the endo filter on, if you take a working image with a file on the tooth, you might appreciate that one. So make sure that you use your filters as you need and that you understand how to turn those on and off. Again, this little enhancement toolbar expands and collapses. You might need to go get that to utilize all of the features here to brightness, contrast. If you hover over each icon, it tells you exactly how to use those. We've got labels if you wanted to draw and measure, and text, a time and date stamp, and you can remove and hide. If you do draw, you have to turn your label off by coming back. Otherwise, your pen is still on. And to turn your pen off, come back into labels and choose the top one, the little cursor that says interact with those labels. So you can double click on that red, you can change the pen size, choose your pixels, you can change the pen color, choose your color. You can move that around to a different location, and you can simply delete it by clicking on delete. Highlight the label and click on delete. Under options, if I wanted to print this image from your clinical ops, copy it to the clipboard, save and export, and edit image information. Currently, we see the patient's name, the acquisition date and time, teeth numbers. This says it's got wisdom teeth here. I don't see wisdom teeth in my simulated image. If I wanted to change that, options, edit image information, take out those wisdom teeth, gray out the teeth that you see on that, and say okay. And let's say no to that right now. So we see we don't have wisdom teeth listed. Options, and edit image information, and let's just take it back to what it was. Let's highlight those teeth, let's deselect those, and we'll see that change instantly. So the message that you just saw, when you play with the brightness contrast, if you don't reset the image, and when you go to move to your next bite wing, this is going to come up like you've applied a change to that image. Most of the time when I'm in clinic, I don't want to save that change. So I would literally say no, but I can avoid that message if you've just played with the brightness contrast and you reset that image to its original by left clicking, one left click. And now, again, just to show you that, left click. And now when I move to my other bite wing, I don't encounter that message. Simply by resetting the image, play with your brightness contrast, left click to reset. Now when I go to move to my other image with the arrows above go back, I don't encounter that message. If you say yes to that message, let's use this one, then you will get a derived image. And what that means is when I say yes to this message, the software is wonderful that it keeps your original image intact, but it says, okay, you wanted to darken that down? We did, and we're going to give that to you in a derived image. Your original image stays intact and unchanged, but you are provided a derived image if you say yes to that message. So just know that you may want to, and you may need that change. Let's do something a little more drastic too. But if you don't need that change, you know, then don't say yes to that message. When I go back, let's say yes to it one more time just to show you again that you're going to be given that modification that you made in a derived image form. So either avoid the message entirely by resetting the image back to its original, or say no to that message and say yes to it when you appropriately do need to. The other, when we're here, that's our enhancement screen. The lower right hand corner, our symbol for retakes is the blue curved arrow, the number 1. If I click here, I see the word retaken. That's where I did actually take that retaken image. I'm displaying my retakes right now, but if I uncheck that, then I don't know where my retake is. Your derived images will always have a number indicating how many images are in that tile. The derived images are not ever hidden. But my retake, it's there. I know it's there by the number 1. I just don't know where it is. So how about I display that? There we go. There's that number. And then I can see my retake. If I prefer that one to be on top, double click. The ghosting is a way to hide an image. If an image is so terrible, maybe you didn't mean to save these derived images. I could bring that derived image on top and drag and drop it. Let me just show that one more time. Drag and, oh yeah, good. It says ghosted. It's always going to say derived, but it does say ghosted. I've got one ghost and one retake. I am displaying them. If I don't want that to say ghosted, just repeat that pattern of dragging it and dropping it, and now it will not say ghosted. It's going to be back to just a derived image. So the ghosting is just a way to hide an image that you might want to delete, but you can't because the software is not set up to delete images. Just a quick overall tutorial on how to take 4 Bitewings, how to use our enhancement screen, and identify your retakes and your ghosting and derived images.